So this is super delayed getting out, but here's my Jeep setup that a couple of people had asked for. I lived in this for 4 months, all winter long, and exception of 2 days. 2 days I didn't sit in the Jeep. But other than that, I was in this full time, working, everything. This was my life. Great layout, whether you're planning on living in it like I did, doing your hashtag van life or whatever you want to call it, or if just going out for the weekend. But this is kind of low budget setup that worked great. Like I said, 4 months, all but 2 days. So here we go. All right, so this is just the basic layout here. This is just all my climbing gear, ropes, all this stuff. I use a lot of this for work too. So there's like 3 ropes in there that are all my static lines, all that kind of stuff are in there. And then my actual climbing ropes are over here in the rope bags, just kind of lined across the side. This is just my pantry. I kept my dry goods in there. I kept my pots and pans, shit that I didn't use that often. Nothing super major, just stuff I didn't get into a lot too. Other than that, I could just kind of reach in and grab, a can of sardines or can of tuna or something like that. It was kind of a fill thing, but it does pull out back, and then I can push it back into the front if I wanted to. This is where my water went. So when I was building this shelf here, I actually took a bunch of things out that were kind of heavy, and I left them out. So I set up a tent, put them in the tent. I was only gone for like 30 minutes. When I came back, tent was gone, water was gone, and they'd actually taken some of the stuff they didn't want to take and stacked it like really nice off the side against a tree. Totally crazy. I don't know why, but they did make off of my tent and my water. I didn't replace it. I just started using like gallon jugs or something like that, and threw it inside of my my cooler. This here was my clothes, and with the clothes, I was able to fit all the clothes that I needed in this little spot. It was like 3 pairs of jeans. I had 4 t-shirts that I liked wearing. And then tons of work clothes. It was winter, right? So I had long sleeve clothes. I brought all the gear that I could to layer up. Was never cold, was never lacking. And then I would stuff my winter coat, my raincoat, and those kinds of things just kind of beside it. Never ran out of room for clothes. And this kind of swings. It's kind of hung on the roll bar there. So I was able to kind of pull it to myself if I was inside the Jeep, grab what I wanted, and I could put on my clothes, and it just kind of went back. And it also kept it from bouncing anywhere when I was going down the road. Underneath here, if you watch my previous videos, the little bit of storage, that was all permanent stuff. So I put like my jumper cables, there's some lawn chairs in there, the tripods for the cameras, things that I wasn't using every day and I rarely got to was underneath here. And then I would just kind of push everything forward if I did need to get into it. This was my basic cooking setup. I just kind of set it up simple. This is literally all I did for 4 months. If I wasn't eating out, this is what I did. It's quick, it was easy. I kept everything stored in this green bag. Just hangs right here. Goes back in there really easy. Magnetic light if it was at night, and then the pan I would just either clip on here or just throw it back in the pantry. Super simple. This folds up. My son made that. They can sell them for like $200-300. He did this for like next to nothing. Works amazing. It's even removable, so that worked out really well. The shelf. I just bought 2 curtain hangers or closet hangers from Home Depot. And then I bought one of their shelves, and you can see it's not as wide as the whole thing. And that's all that is. And then the weight keeps it in there, and then I just have Velcro holding the poles at the ends and use the weight. I went down some pretty nasty roads. This thing never went anywhere. And then I just tied it all together to keep the poles from going anywhere. Did this, I had some plywood. The plywood was bowing, and by the time I beefed it up enough that it wasn't bowing and stuff, it was super heavy. And I just did this for lightness. It was like a $30 project on board. A lot better ways to do it, but this is super light, super cheap. And I did it with zip ties and Velcro, which means no tools needed. Great little field fucking job. Anyways, I'm gonna go around and kind of show you from the inside now. I'm half crippled and I don't want to be like doing this or whatever, so we're gonna do like a kind of thing. So we'll be right back. So here's the interior. Sleeping. I just had my Marmot 0-degree bag. Obviously I was in the cold, so I wanted something warmer. But when it got really warm, I just slept on top of it, and then I just used my down quilt to keep warm, which was plenty. And then for padding, I just got some cheap tumble mats. I got them at Goodwill. They're like $1 a piece. It was super cheap. Worked out really well. Inside. Again, clothes. That's where my water was. I was able to turn it around if I needed it inside. And then, of course, pantry I could pull in and pull out. One of the good setups I had going on was this light, which is just actually on a pole. And it just uses the counterweight to stay in place. Now, it wouldn't have lasted going down the road. I actually lost it a couple of times, but I just pull it down in the mornings. It'd be great. Now, the cooler. I used to have a really small cooler. It was like half the size, and I would use it. Problem is the ice was melting and stuff, and I needed something bigger that would hold groceries a little bit better than I was actually having some spoilage. So I went and went bigger. I did some research online. This isn't like Yeti quality or anything like that, but it's like, you know, best bang for the buck that I had going on. Kept it at low budget again. But that worked out really well. So another saving grace was these headlamps on the headrest. I did it on both headrests, and it worked out great. It was a light that I could use, especially if I was stealth camping. I didn't do it a whole lot, but it didn't blast me out. But even at night, it didn't just like kill my night vision or whatever. So I just hit that real quick, find what I was looking for, and go for it. Or if I needed to jump up in the middle of the night, go to the restroom or something like that, they're right there. I could slap it on. I always knew where it was at, and they were never lost. Another great saving grace was these chalk bags. I bought them at REI on clearance. And the best thing about them, like, they're meant to hold chalk, right? So you could throw just about anything in them and then just pull it tight. Nothing ever came out of them. And since they're kind of weighted or whatever on a string, the worst thing I ever got was some bouncing, but it wasn't never horrible. Like, it never drove me nuts or anything like that. One other thing that I did that was really great was I used moving blankets to black out the windows or whatever when I did need to keep light out, or if I was stealth camping. But I only paid like $5 for them at Harbor Freight. Super cheap, easy. I didn't care if they got trashed. You know what I mean? I could throw them under the Jeep when I was working on the Jeep. I do whatever I want with them. They're great padding. You know, if I'd got super cold, I could have thrown them on top of me. And I would just stuff them in between the row bar and the hard top, and they pretty much stayed in place. I also found that when I started using these, condensation wasn't nearly as bad. So I wouldn't wake up in a wet sleeping bag and everything like that, and these would get a little bit damp and they'd dry up. Again, if I had one of them kind of start smelling because it was obviously gaining the mold or mildew or whatever, I just tossed it. It was not a big deal. So it was a great, it was a great saver. A couple of things I want to talk about that I totally zoned, but I did want to mention because they're whatever, semi-important. First thing is power. So I bought this huge inverter and started to wire it up and everything like that. And I just found that I didn't need that much power. Once I'd adapted to not using power, I just honestly didn't need it that much. Most of the stuff could be doing it. I ended up getting this little guy from Walmart. It lasted the whole time. Everything I need to power up, batteries for the camera and batteries for the iPad. I had an iPad, and what I would do is I'd download movies from like Netflix and stuff like that. I just hang it from the row bar when I really wanted to watch everything. But honestly, I just didn't spend enough time. Maybe I'll do a video just kind of covering what my daily routine was, since I was working a normal job and then still going it. And I kind of wanted to cover where I parked and everything anyways. So totally worth mentioning that I just didn't do power. So if you are building something, maybe really analyze how much power you're going to need. Everybody's needs are going to be different, but I didn't need nearly as much power as I had brought on board. In the passenger seat, I didn't show that area just because, you know, it's a passenger seat and there's nothing in it right now because I'm done with what I've been doing. But that's actually where I kept my laptop and I kept everything like that. I just kept it in the passenger seat, and I ran the seat belt through it, and then I strapped it all together. So, and then I would take the moving blankets that I was using to black everything out, and I would toss them on top of it so you couldn't really tell what it was. And I'd parked at the city, you know, every day at work. Downtown Seattle, never had any issues. Nobody ever messed with anything. So that's what I was doing. The last thing is I get asked all the time. I'm 6'1". The bed has 76 inches of clearance. So if I scoot the seat all the way forward and lean it forward, I have 76 inches from where my feet touch to where my head stops. And that's including my table comes out like an inch and a half. So you know, it's more like 78 inches, whatever. 76 and a half inches. But I had plenty of room. I got stretched out. I was never bunched up. I never had any issues. And with the padding and the blanket, it doesn't look like there's as much room as there is between the shelf and the bed. But I have plenty of room to move. My feet could go flat and go underneath that. And that bar is just going across right where the hard top lays. So again, super simple layout. I think that covers anything else. If you have any other questions, just comment below. And I'll try to get to them, make a video, or just you know, type an answer to you. Hit the subscribe button. I'm going to start doing more videos so we can get back on this. We have a bunch of mods that are coming. That's why we're doing this. We're taking everything out of here, and we're doing a bunch of stuff, setting this up for some more camping and overlanding, and some a business venture we're going on to. And I'm going to start covering that because it'll be fun stuff while I'm crippled up until I can get back to living in the Jeep like I want to. So until next time, thanks, guys. He doesn't know I'm filming him. That's Keaton. That's the cameraman today because I'm crippled. Tell him thank you, everybody.